How is everybody tonight? Am I coming through loud and clear? Let me see. I do believe I am. I do believe. Yes, I am. How is everybody tonight? Hope everybody's doing good. Let me see. Who have I got with me here so far? We got Eddie here. We got Derek. We got Sean. We got horror fan Andy. Got Dola White here. We got Astro Juicy hanging out with us over on Twitch. Got RJ hanging out with us over on Twitch. Usu, Witch Hunter, Hakeem, Andy Shoemake. We got Sinjin, movie fan, entertainment wizard. We got Joe here. We got Sad and Video, Chris. We got Dave, CJM. We got Dream Emulator hanging with us as well. Let's see, who else did we have? We got Antonis here. Kevin Morrison. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. To all you mothers out there. I think there's got to be a few, right? Who are watching tonight. So, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Some sad news. I've seen several people mention it in.
One scared cat. They call me Reggie the Reckless.
Wow, Andy, thank you for being a channel member for 12 months. Holy cannoli, a whole year, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Very kind of you. So yes, some sad news today. Legendary filmmaker Roger Corman has passed away at the age of 98. 98. Roger Corman, I was going to say, is one of the most influential filmmakers of all time, but he may be.
Sing it again for us real quick.
Summer breeze, aging
top three,
now,
really.
Just oh.
Pretty good.
Orman, thank you for the $2, sir. I appreciate that. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, Roger Corman, just legendary filmmaker and producer. He launched the careers of so many extremely talented people. He was a trailblazer when it came to independent cinema. Wow, just an absolute legend. And yeah, unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but he left just a remarkable impact on cinema. Again, huge trailblazer when it came to independent cinema, and launched the careers of so many talented filmmakers. So what a legacy he leaves behind. What a legacy. So anybody want to share their favorite Roger Corman films or favorite Roger Corman produced films? He produced so many awesome B movies. Oh my goodness. And if you want to share any of your personal favorites, please do so. And yes, Dream Emulator, you should make more content, sir. Yes, you should. What's up, Richard? How you doing, man? Got Silent Evil here. What's up, man? Yeah, it was good seeing you at Frankencon on Saturday, too. Got Chris here, Slasher Home Video. How you doing? And yes, that's right, Andy. Susan Backline, the Jaws' very first victim, has passed away as well. I got to meet her. Oh gosh, it was literally one of the first two or three conventions I've ever been to.
Aging to know, just oh.
Pretty good. Singing.
I think it was either the second or third convention I'd ever been to. I met her. And yeah, I mean Jaws is in my top, God, probably 5 of all time, and it's easily one of the most. It's Jaws and The Lost Boys, and Halloween's way up there too. Movies I've seen the most times in my life. So I've seen her be eaten by Jaws many, many times. But R.I.P. Susan Backline. Bloodthorn Creations, thank you for the $1.99. Hey, Piz, how's it going? It's going good, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chats. Hope you're doing well. Joe Bob had a thing with him a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, see, he was still out there, doing his thing. 98 years old, but still out there, still out there doing his thing. Favorite Corman films are the Vincent Price, Edgar Allan Poe films, yeah. Carnosaur movies, of course. His cameo in Scream 3. Oh, yeah, I remember his cameo in Scream 3. The Wild Angels is a favorite of yours, says Dola White. Got some more love for the Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent Price stuff. Howard Orman says Mosque of the Red Death. Hard to Die. Hard to Die. A very fun Roger Corman produced film directed by the great Jim Wynorski. I love Hard to Die. What's up, Adam NC? How you doing? Yeah, Jaws, that opening scene of Jaws is still like just, oof. And she did such a good job selling that too. I mean, that scene wouldn't have worked without her. Like, she really sold that, Summer Party Massacre, another one produced by Corman. Yes. What's up, Michael Sullivan? How you doing? Dead Meat Fan, what's up? Oh, jeez. But I hope everybody had a good Sunday. Hope everybody had a good Mother's Day. What'd you all get your mothers for Mother's Day? Jeremy and I got our mother flowers and candies. So she was happy. But got some things to talk about tonight. By the way, if you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. I would appreciate that. Some things to discuss tonight. I think the first thing we should discuss tonight is the Crystal Lake television series, the Friday the 13th television series. News of that came out, it was a couple of years ago, and it had been very, very quiet on that front for a while, which is never a good sign. And it was recently, it was initially announced that A24 had backed out of the Crystal Lake series. Then it turned out, no, they're still in it. It's Brian Fuller, the showrunner, who has backed out of the series. And I'll share this. I'll share this screen. Just to give you the full story. Goodness gracious, why is this? There we go. All right, from the Friday the 13th, the franchise website. Brian Fuller made a social media post and basically said, for reasons beyond our control, A24 is elected to go a different way with the material. We hope the final product will be something Friday the 13th fans all over the world enjoy. So Brian Fuller is out. Brian Fuller was really the only, I love Friday the 13th. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that was my series growing up. It's still my all-time favorite franchise. Jason is my all-time favorite villain. I just don't. But one of the things I love about those movies is the simplicity. And I think trying to turn that series, those movies, into an ongoing television series, there's not enough there. And to try and add more onto it, it turns Friday the 13th into something that it's not. So that, that always was a bone of contention for me. And keep in mind, too, this is not the first time that they've tried to bring Friday the 13th to the small screen. Many years ago, there was talk of there being a Friday the 13th television series on the CW. Sean Cunningham it was apparently set up with the CW. And the reason it fell apart is because they just couldn't come up with an idea for how do you turn Friday the 13th into a weekly television series. Now, from what I heard, Brian Fuller's plan was to make every season of Crystal Lake would represent a different movie. So season 1 is part 1, season 2 is part 2, season 3 is part 3. And he had it plotted out all the way to season 10. And season 10 would be Jason in Space. That's what I was told. Which, that's pretty ambitious that you've already plotted out 10 seasons of this show. But again, like, how can you stretch out Friday the 13th, the first movie, which I love with all my heart, into 4 episodes, let alone 8, 10? I don't know how you do that without making it something that it's not, without making Friday the 13th something that it's not. You take that simplicity away and it's not Friday the 13th anymore, at least to me. Which is so frustrating when you think about how many years they were trying to get another Friday the 13th movie made before this whole lawsuit mess, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't make it happen because they were trying to make Friday the 13th something that it wasn't. They tried to make a found footage Friday the 13th. They tried to make like a prequel, a prequel that's the half prequel, half remake. They tried to take it in all these directions that weren't Friday the 13th, and it just didn't happen. Instead of just making, how hard of a formula is it? Guy in a hockey mask, victims in the woods. There you go. That's essentially all we want. Give us good characters, give us good kills. That's all we want. We don't need a heightened Friday the 13th. We don't need a high concept Friday the 13th. We just want Friday the 13th, for God's sake. We just want Jason in the woods with his mask and his machete and victims. We don't need a backstory. We don't need... Oy vey. How difficult is it? What I hope is, and I said this, I don't know, several streams before, if we're ever going to see another Friday the 13th on the big screen, it's either going to be via Blumhouse or A24. Now, A24 is involved in this. Maybe the new direction A24 wants to take it is to the big screen. That's my hope. That is my hope. So, I think this might be a good thing. I actually think this may be a good thing. This could be the beginning of a movie. And we've got In a Violent Nature that's going to be coming out at the end of this month. And people are already calling it like an art house Friday the 13th. There's a lot of buzz for it. I'm excited about it. The trailer looks awesome. I think if that movie does well, we'll get our Friday the 13th movie from A24. So my fingers are crossed for that. We don't need another. If you're going to do a Friday the 13th television series, do it like the old series, the old syndicated series. You know what I mean? I'd watch that. Let me catch up with the chat here. I bet A24 wants more Jason. I hope so. I mean, I hope they want a Jason movie. Brian Fuller is supposed to be making the new Christine remake too. Oh, lovely. Another remake. Bloodthorn says, I got my mother an Elvis shirt, an Elvis cup, some candies, a block of chocolate fudge, and a meltable candle wax. And meltable can. Cool. All right. I'm guessing she's an Elvis fan. Very nice. What's up, Eli? But how many episodes could you make each season be? Exactly. I mean, I would think at least it would have to be like 8 episodes per season. But how do you stretch those movies into that many episodes? Again, without making it something that it's not. And you're exploring all these characters. You know, do we need like a deep exploration of Shelley's background for season 3? I love Shelley, but I don't think we need like, you know, the Shelley episode. Just saw your Killer Clowns review from Arrow Video 6 years ago, and you still look the same. Vampire. That's my secret. You never see me in the daylight, do you? Actually, you do. Actually, if you follow me on well, yeah, you see me a lot of. There's a lot of videos in daylight I've shot too. So maybe I'm just a special vampire. I don't know. I'd watch a found footage Friday the 13th. I mean, if done right, maybe. But again, that's, you know, is that really Friday the 13th? I don't know. Friday the 13th needs good kills, good characters, good dialogue, good pacing, tension, and atmosphere and suspense. Yeah, I think if you gave us half that, it'd be great. You know what I mean? Give us good kills, good characters, some nice suspense, you know what I mean? Some atmosphere. Hell yeah. You know? Hey, Go Seek Find, how are you doing tonight? We got Phil here from Phil's Creepy Vids. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that this new direction A24 wants to go in is a movie. I really do. Because I think that's about the only way we're going to get a new Friday movie. It's either going to be from A24 or Blumhouse. That's it. So. Pierce wears 1,000 proof sunblock. There you go. One episode dedicated to how Jason built his shack in the woods. Yeah, that's one whole episode right there. We'll get the episode of how Jason got the tater sack too. You know, that'll be riveting. That episode. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anybody in the chat who would actually prefer a series, a weekly television series over another movie? Is there anybody who wants that in the chat? If you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. I'd appreciate that. Just want a movie. Yeah. I think that's what all of us want pretty much. Just give us another movie or, honestly, how many people in the chat would just like the series? Just let it go. Just let it die. Just bury Jason. Let him be. I mean, there's the whole argument too of like the Friday the 13th, even if they made a new Friday the 13th, is it going to be, what kind of Friday the 13th is it going to be? It's not going to be the one from the 80s that we grew up with, or that I grew up with. What kind of Friday the 13th is it going to be? And a lot of people are saying, well, if A24 is involved, it's going to be, it's going to be highfalutin. It's going to be art house Friday the 13th. And that, I think if you make Friday the 13th too artsy, that kind of defeats what Friday the 13th is too. But I don't know. Let it end. Okay. Let it end. Let it die. I want more. Justin wants more. Richard wants to see it continue. Dave wants more. Just give me those damn enchiladas. What's up, Distorted Visions? Jason should be big screen only. I think even like a streaming movie, something on Peacock or something on Hulu or whatever. I mean, I think that could be. I mean, the Hellraiser Hulu was pretty good, I thought. The Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I liked a lot. So, I wouldn't dismiss a Friday the 13th on a streaming service. Not at all. Not at all. The backstory for Creighton Duke. Now, I would watch that episode. I would watch that episode if we got a Creighton Duke backstory. I think we did get the Creighton Duke backstory because I think Creighton Duke is Reggie the Reckless. So I think Reggie the Reckless grew up to be Creighton Duke. And when I had Adam Marcus on the channel a few years ago, I asked him directly. He said no, but the look in his eyes told me. His eyes said yes. His mouth said no, his eyes said yes. I'd like to see a fresh take. What kind of fresh take are we talking about? How fresh can you make it? Well, see, I think the hurdle for the movie would have to be getting Cunningham and Miller in the same room and getting them to agree on doing a movie, having them both sign off on it. And then they probably would have to agree on the story. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what all that would entail. I mean, you'd have to pay both of them. And I assume you'd have to pay them very handsomely. And I'm assuming they'd both have to sign off. So, I mean, Jason Blum could definitely do it. The only issue with Jason Blum and Blumhouse would be I don't know. Jason Blum could get it done. Jason Blum could get it done. I'd put it that way. Well, yeah, he'd get it done. Kind of reminds me of an Ice-T quote I heard one time. Somebody asked him if he said he could make a record with anybody. And somebody said, well, could you make it? I think they said like a David Hasselhoff rap album. And he said, oh yeah, it'd get done. It'd get done, 100%. It'd get done. It'd probably suck, but it'd get done. So that's what I'm thinking. More of the remake world. You know, that remake's looking better and better. Every passing year, that remake just looks better and better. Yeah, I mean that's it. That's it. That's it. I mean, that's all we need. That is the foundation of Friday the 13th. You know? That's all we need. Doomed. There. It's doomed. You're all doomed. Now, I would watch that, Barney. Abigail versus Jason. I would watch that. I'd watch that. Huge gap between Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. I mean, chances are, if we do get a new movie, it'll have no real connection to any of the others, other than Jason, hockey mask, slashings, Crystal Lake, yada yada yada. They won't have to fill in any kind of gaps. So. Oh my God, Burrito Fueled 93. The Corey Feldman doc live stream. Yeah, oh my God, that was crazy. That was wild. Well, thanks for coming back, man. It's been a while. But yeah, that was a crazy live stream. My God, the whole Corey Feldman documentary. Man. Glad you're back, Burrito. Glad you're back. Demon Slugs, the entire series. Yeah. There you go. I'll watch that. What is the Paramount era? That would be the first 8 movies. 1 through 8. To me, that's the golden era. I love all of those movies. Those are the Friday the 13ths of my youth. And Eli Roth, Friday the 13th. Interesting. I wonder what Ty West would do with Friday the 13th. I think that'd be a nice fit. Do you imagine Jason chasing Mia Goth through the woods? That'd be cool. Oy vey. Well, we'll find out. Hopefully, we'll have some news soon. But I do think that A24 may have their eyes on In a Violent Nature. See how good that does. If that movie performs fairly well, that may make up their mind for them. We need Jason on the big screen. So, time will tell. We shall see. If you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. I would appreciate that. See some people in the chat mentioning Nightmare on Elm Street. So let's dive right into the big Nightmare on Elm Street news. Of course, this year marks the 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street. And that series, I've talked about that series in prior live streams, and about how it's kind of just been, I don't want to say forgotten, but almost forgotten, it seems like, because – 'cause, 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 'c we haven't had any news on like anything Nightmare on Elm Street related in a long time. And the physical media for A Nightmare on Elm Street, post the DVD box set for A Nightmare was awesome. That was one of the best DVD box sets back in the day, without question. With the flipper discs, one of the best DVD box sets. When it came to Blu-ray, ooh man, they dropped the ball big time. And we've not had any news on a movie in forever. We've not had any news on new physical media releases in forever, other than, there was the whole hubbub about Scream Factory was going to be doing a box set. And they were. I know for a fact. At one point, they were working on a box set. That fell through. And we've just had no news on A Nightmare on Elm Street. And A Nightmare on Elm Street was the biggest horror franchise of the 80s. And now it's like, doesn't get talked about very much. There's just no buzz about it. No hype about it. But if they were going to do something with this series, on a physical media level at least, this was the year to do it, or it's just never going to happen, right? If you're not going to do anything for the 40th anniversary, we're going to wait another 10 years for something. But then we got the news that there is going to be a 40th anniversary 4K release of the film. However, there's some interesting, it's interesting. So here is the Zavi listing for the film. Here is the Diabolic DVD listing for the film. And as you can see, this is a UK release. It's a limited edition Steelbook 4K UHD. But again, it's a UK release. Why not a US release? Where's the Amazon listing? Where's that pre-order at, right? And when you look down here at the extras, I don't see anything new down here. I don't see any kind of new extras at all. So is this just going to be a 4K upgrade and that's it? And a Steelbook? Is that it? Same thing on the Diabolic listing. It's just, all this is old stuff. So that's kind of disappointing, I think, that unless there's new extras that are being worked on now and they'll be announced later, I don't know. But what has me kind of curious about it, again, it's this UK release. Why don't we have anything, any pre-orders available in the US? What I'm hoping is we're going to get a box set in the US with a 4K for the first film. Now it's all going to be done in-house at, clearly it's being done in-house at WB, New Line, whatever. It's all WB now. So that's what I'm thinking. Until we get something definitive, a US release with a US Amazon listing, I'm hoping that they're holding out to announce a box set, with part 1 being a 4K. But I don't know about if we're going to get any kind of new extras. That could be a bummer too. But we definitely need a proper box set for A Nightmare on Elm Street, at the very least. And when I say proper, I mean each disc, each movie has its own case, its own disc, its own artwork. Even though, I mean, they'll probably just be the old 4K trans. Maybe they'll do a new, updated 4K or updated Blu-ray transfers. That would be nice. With some updated audio. That would be nice. But as far as extras, I don't know. Maybe like a new documentary that just covers the entire series, like a 40th anniversary documentary. But I think for sure, part 1 has to have a 4K. No doubt about it. Got to have a 4K. Hopefully a really good quality 4K. And, for the rest of the movies, that's fine. Blu-ray. But just do it right. Give us some new, give us a fancy, flashy box to put it in. Maybe a box that looks like the furnace, Give us some flashy, cool packaging at least, So, and I've already heard a lot of people have gone ahead and pre-ordered this UK 4K. I'm holding off. Again, I'm thinking, or at least I'm hoping, US box set. What's up, Johnny Recaps? How you doing? I feel that's not enough for the 40th anniversary. I mean, just the 4K alone, yeah, no, I don't think that's enough. I think we need the box set. They aren't using original artwork. Well, I saw a post somewhere that had artwork on it, but then somebody said that's a fake. So I don't know if if that was the real artwork. It was not. It wasn't very good. But then I heard that it was faked. So I don't know. Just word is all the films are getting restored, but most are not ready. So a box set this year is unlikely. Hey, okay. That would really suck. How could you not? I mean, how do you start? I mean, how do you not have it out for the 40th anniversary? Like, you should have planned ahead, right? Like, you should have started working on it like last year or 2 years ago. The price for the box set, so if it's the part 1 is 4K, the rest are standard blues. No new extras, maybe a new documentary. I think that would be great. Some fancy packaging. I mean, it'd have to be like what, $200, $250? It'd have to be. Well, gosh, actually, how much was that Friday the 13th box set when it first came out that Scream Factory did? Wasn't that like $300? Somewhere in that neighborhood? I don't know. I think $200 to $250 would be a reasonable price, but that's reasonable. Quote unquote reasonable. I don't know if they're going to, I don't know. I'm going to say prepare for $300. Prepare for $300. I think a 4K for the first film stateside will at least happen, if not a box set of sorts. But remember, if these 4Ks don't do well on release, that might hurt chances of not Elm Street sequel seeing an upgrade. That's true. That's true. That's true. You know, at the very least, we might get that 4K stateside, just the standalone 4K. And then maybe later, the sets, or maybe they'll hold out and put them all out together as a set. But you make a good point. I don't see the sequels getting a 4K. I don't see the sequels getting a 4K. Maybe like 3 and 4 getting 4Ks, but I don't see the others getting 4Ks. If they're going to do any of the sequels in 4K, 3 and 4. Is MTV special? Oh, the Freddy one. Well, I mean, that could all be stuff that they could add on there. I mean, like they could add the TV series on there too. Remember the TV series was supposed to get like I think it was just a DVD release, an official DVD release, and that never happened. Maybe that's why it didn't happen, because they're going to throw it on this box set. That would be cool. I think that would be a selling point for the box set. Yeah, I do. I've got a cheap Freddy's glove. It's just a little cheapo one Jeremy wore for Halloween. Probably, God, my goodness, over 15 years ago. I don't know if it's that people don't like to make money. I think it's, I think they, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just think that people don't remember the Nightmare movies, or that people aren't, I don't know. But I think part of that is their own fault. Oh, and Swaggy mentions it. Did they ever release the Freddy's Nightmare show? They were going to, but then something happened. So I'm hoping that they pulled it so that they threw it on the box set. $60 for the 4K. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think doing it in a, calling it quote unquote limited edition and putting it in a steel book, that's always a way to kind of drum up the price a little bit. And let's see what comes with it. We get a slipcase, double-sided poster, art cards, booklet. So, I mean, they're throwing in some of that stuff. But I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, $60. Yeah, that is a little pricey. That is a little pricey. What's up, Justin? How you doing? What if it doesn't sell well and Warner says no to the rest? Then they say no to the rest, and we're stuck with what we got. I would hope so. I mean, if any, I mean, all the unrated stuff, if they've got it, all the cut footage, all that stuff. I mean, that would be a great thing to add to the box set. If we got some uncut footage, so never before seen footage, that would be a selling point for a box set. Could Craven's estate be part of the holdup? I mean, maybe. I don't know why they would hold it up. I mean, it's, it'd be a payday. Imagine a box set of all the films in the series on 4K via Scream Factory. Yeah, that would be, good Lord. Can you even, gosh, that'd be $500 at least, right? Maybe $600. All the movies in 4K. Good Lord. That's what we need. The Freddy's Dead 4K. That would be a massive seller. Huge seller. Hey, what's up, Husker? How you doing? The TV series was supposed to get a Blu-ray. I don't know why they would put that TV series on Blu-ray. It's not going to look any better from DVD to Blu-ray. I mean, that's just kind of a waste of a Blu-ray, really. All right, so let me pose this question to y'all. Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay, first let me ask you, okay, Nightmare on Elm Street, Blu-ray set with part 1 on 4K. What's the max you're going to pay? And I'm talking newly updated 4K transfers on all the movies, the Freddy's Dead television series on there as well, and like a 40th anniversary documentary. What's your breaking point on that one? How much are you willing to spend on that one? Will the Nightmare on Elm Street not sell as well as Halloween Friday or Chucky Piz? It's possible. I think it's possible because it's just not had the same kind of treatment as the rest of those movies. And Friday the 13th's been treated like crap, but I mean, we had the video game that was very popular, that kept the series alive. We had all the bad press from the from the lawsuit that at least kept, the series on people's minds. But we've not had that for a Nightmare on Elm Street. I need Freddy's Dead with Throw 3D and scratch and sniff cards. Horrorman says 150 is the top that he'd pay. Okay, that's the top she'd pay for the box set. Okay. Dylan says 135. Movie Fan says 150. Saturn Video says 250. Eric says 155. 250 from Justin Smith. 150 from Dave. 120 from Derek. 120 from Mikhara. 250 from Dead Meat Fan. 225 from Richard. Captain Crunch says 100 to 200. Or 150 tops. Okay, would you pay more for them not to include the remake? There's two sets. There's a set with the remake, and there's a set without the remake, but you got to pay more for the set without the remake. If they put Freddy's Nightmares on there, they got me. Says Swaggy. Sydney says 230 max. Kevin says 129.99 max. Oh, that was for the Friday the 13th set? I thought it was a lot more than that. I don't know. My memory of that one is that it was more, but I mean, you're probably right. Captain Crunch is still playing the Friday the 13th game. Yes, no remake. What's up, DJ? How you doing, man? Justin still wants the remake, even though it's trash. Captain Crunch is a completionist, sadly. There you go. Or here's the thing. They release the box set, and the remake is the only movie that's got new extras. That's the only one that's got new extras. Oh, goodness. So, I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Fingers crossed. We'll finally get that box. We're going to get something for the 40th anniversary. At least the first movie on 4K. Although, I mean, some new extras would be nice. Hopefully that 4K transfer is good. So, not good. Hopefully that 4K transfer is really good. But time will tell. Time will tell. Has anybody here already pre-ordered the UK limited edition from Zawi or Zavi or Diabolic? What would I pay for the box set? If it's part one on 4K, the rest of the movies have new Blu-ray transfers. We got a 40th anniversary documentary. We got the television series on there. We got some uncut footage on there. Nice packaging. I'd do two. Anything above that, though, I'd be like, two would be the most. I think I'd want to go. I'm holding off on the pre-order, waiting to see if anything gets announced for the U.S. Me too. Derek's waiting for the official U.S. one as well. Sydney's not pulled the trigger yet. You got it, Eric. You ordered from Zavi. I've never ordered anything from Zavi. I've heard good things. They're good. Y'all would recommend? Saturn pre-ordered. What company do you think would knock it out of the park if you could pick any boutique label to do the Nightmare box set? I mean, Arrow would do a great job. No doubt about it. Second Sight would do a great job. I mean, I think they could do a good job in-house at WB if they put it in the right person's hands. My wallet says 150, but my reptile brain says 2. Holding off on a pre-order for now. Have you heard about the recent announcement for Black Belly of the Tarantula on 4K coming from a new Giallo label called Celluloid Dreams? No, I haven't heard about Celluloid Dreams. Interesting. We need a new Giallo label. I like that. I'll have to look into them. Celluloid Dreams. Let me look into them right now. The director's label. Okay. Interesting. Thank you all for 61 likes on the stream. Appreciate that. All right, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the Nightmare. We're only into May so far, and I think this 4K, the UK release isn't coming out until December, right? So I mean that's a ways away. A lot can happen before then. A lot can happen before then. Oh, goodness. Did anybody in the chat attend Frankencon? This year's Frankencon event, which took place this weekend. Friday and Saturday. Anybody else go? And if anybody's familiar with Frankencon, how long have they been around? I just recently became aware of them, and this was my first Frankencon show that I attended yesterday. Dead Meat fan, you wish? Was there who was there that you would have wanted to meet? Any hope for The Strangers? Yeah. I'm going to go see it. Jeremy wants to see it, and I'm hoping for the best. I think it's about time Rennie Harlan. It's time for a Rennie Harlan renaissance. I really do. It's time. First time hearing about Frankencon. Yeah, me too. It was in Alcoa, Tennessee, and had a great time there on Saturday. Stayed a couple of hours, met some awesome people, hung out. It kind of reminded me of like an old school convention. It was very laid back, very chill. It just sort of had like a party atmosphere about it. And I'm going to do a video, just a dedicated video talking about Frankencon. I've got a ton of footage, a ton of photos. I just had a great time there. And I really cannot say enough good things about Ken Sagos from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. Kincaid. So when I saw that he was going to be there and that the convention's, relatively close to me, I was like, oh man, Jeremy would love to meet him because Jeremy loves Kincaid. But since it was my first time going, I was like, I don't know what's the vibe going to be like. And I was hesitant, but like literally as soon as I got there, I was like, damn, I should have brought Jeremy. And within 10 seconds of meeting Ken Sagos, I was like, I really should have brought Jeremy. Because Jeremy would have had an awesome time with him. Ken Sagos. Has anybody met him in the chat? Such an awesome guy. He went above and beyond for Jeremy. Put it that way. So when I told him about Jeremy, he goes, let's call him. And I was like, you call him? He's like, yeah, let's call him. So got out my phone, called, and I was like, Jeremy, I've got somebody here who wants to talk to you. And Jeremy is not somebody who talks on the phone. You get maybe 20 seconds out of Jeremy on the phone, and he's done. He's to the point. He wants this. Bring him home this, and bye. Sometimes you don't even get a bye. And he doesn't hang up on you. He puts the phone down and walks away. So he talked to Ken for about a minute. And when Ken handed me back the phone, he was still on. Now, once I was like, hey, what do you think, Bubba? He was like, yes. And then he walked away. He was like, you're back. I don't care. Bye. But he talked to Ken for like a solid minute. And he got a lot of swag from Ken, put it that way. So all that'll be covered in the Frankencon video, but I can't say enough good things about Ken Sagos. Such a nice guy. Yeah. And Jeremy was talking about that all day today, about talking to Ken Sagos on the phone. So, oh goodness, that was cool. But I do hope that, I hope they bring him back next year, because that's another one that Jeremy could definitely go to. Scarefest, and the Scarefest people were at this convention, and I was like, hey, you guys should book Ken. And the lady kind of made a face, so I'm guessing that's not going to happen. But so Frankencon could definitely be another one that Jeremy and I, that would be good for Jeremy. So, yeah, great convention. Again, just that really chill, laid back kind of atmosphere. It reminded me of old school cons. Great people there. Met a lot of cool people who know me from the channel, which is always great. And, great to know there's people out there who, like what I do. And, just all around was a really fun time. So recommend Frankencon if anybody's in the Tennessee area or can be in the Tennessee area without too much trouble. Frankencon is a good show for sure. Yeah. They had a pretty good lineup this year. I really only went for Ken and 3 other people. I won't spoil who though, but I'm going to have my full Frankencon video out. Probably, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. I'm looking for a new con to go to. Usually go to Texas Frightmare Weekend, but I'm looking to travel for one. Well, I mean, this area, the Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Carolinas area it's a hotbed. And I believe you have committed to a Full Moon next year in Nashville. That's going to be I've been to that one 2 years. And both times had a blast. And this past one was so fun. So, he's hilarious. I love listening to him tell stories on the Nightmare Doc, Never Sleep Again. Yeah. Because my wife and I like when you and Jeremy try food, snacks, and beverages. Well, you're in luck, because we've got a box full of exotic sounding potato chips coming to us. So that'll be a fun video, I'm sure. And I think we have another beverage that we need to do. I gotta tell you guys the funniest story. So there was a guy who sent us some Casey's exclusive Mountain Dews, and I can remember putting those in the fridge, and I completely forgot about them. Now this was months ago, and he commented on a video recently like, hey, did you ever drink those Mountain Dews I sent you? And I went, they disappeared. Like I literally went to the fridge and I looked in it and I was like, but I've not seen those I don't even remember seeing those. I remember putting them in the fridge and then they just vanished. Well, Jeremy must have snuck, drank both of them, and then very discreetly disposed of the bottles, because I don't remember seeing them in the trash. They just vanished. So, yeah. Sounds like it was a rad time. Is there any other cons that you're hitting up in the near future? Smoky Mountain Terror next month. I'm considering going to that one. I think it's probably, I don't know, let's say it's 70-30. I'm going to go to that one for sure. 70-30. Scarefest, that's a highly likely, I think. Probably take Jeremy with me to that one again. And I'm tempted by Horror Hound in Cincinnati because they're doing like a slasher thing this year. And my buddy Eric Freeman's already been booked. Robert Brian Wilson's already been booked. Melissa Barrera has been booked. Robert England has been booked. So that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one. And that I'm tempted to go to that one. Very, very tempted. You're down for full moon? All right. All right. It'll be good to meet Ben Grimm. It'll be good to meet. Monster Mania has been good to me. I've been there 2 times now. Cool. Jeremy borrowed them. He did. He did. He borrowed them, and he very discreetly disposed of the evidence of him borrowing them. So. Piz, should you meet your favorite actors in case it doesn't go well and ruins your view of them? I mean, that's a risk you take. That's a risk you take. I can't say any encounter has ruined my view of an actor. I've had mostly very good encounters. There's been a few that have been kind of meh, but none of them have ruined my view of the person. Only one celeb I met was a bad experience, and that was Savini. You know, I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. Never been to Monster Mania in New Jersey. I did go to a convention in Jersey a couple of years ago. I think that it was New Jersey Horror Con. I drove up for that one. But never been to Monster Mania. Were you more of a fan of cons when they were smaller, or do you think that with them getting larger crowds, it's helped grow the genre? I mean, I think, I don't know if it's helped grow the genre. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I don't think you've already got to be a horror fan, I think, to want to go to a convention. Number one. Because, I mean, you know, they're expensive. I mean, it's expensive just to get into the convention. So I think you've got to be a horror fan to want to go, honestly. I don't know if I would say I was more of a fan when they were smaller. I think a lot of the conventions lack that intimacy. Like, Frankencon it had that intimacy. I never felt rushed. I never felt like the crowd was, you know, pressing in on me. And the celebs had that same kind of laid back kind of vibe, you know, like every celeb that, you know, I met was like, you know, it wasn't just like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I mean, it was, you know, you had an actual conversation with them. And I don't know, that cool, just laid back, chill vibe, you know, you don't get that with conventions really anymore. It's very like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up and give me your money and go away. Please come to Cincinnati. I'll get into all kinds of trouble. It's a good possibility. I'll be up there. Flashback weekend. Ah, Derek, you met Bill Moseley in 2018 when he was filming a movie in your town. Great guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've met Bill a couple of times. Yeah, I plan on seeing A Violent Nature for sure. I'm very excited to see that movie. I thought the trailer looked incredible. I know there's a newer trailer that came out, but I've not seen it. I've seen enough. I've seen enough to know that it's right up my alley. I can't wait to check it out. Oh, by the way, I finally watched Godzilla -1 the other night, and wow. That movie absolutely lived up to the hype. That was a great movie, Wow. Epic. If you had, let's do, okay, we got to do some text to speech on this one.
Reggie19 says, if you had Martha Stewart on the phone, do you think Jeremy would talk to her?
That's a good question. I don't know. Be like, Jeremy, Martha Stewart's on the phone. You want to talk to her? No. Or he'd be like, bitch. And then, no, run away. Or maybe he'd take the phone and be like, bitch, and then hand it back to me. I don't know. Jeremy's very opinionated. And once you get on his bad side, you are there forever. I've heard Andrew Bryanarski is one of the worst people to meet. I met Andrew Bryanarski at the New Jersey Horror Con, and I didn't even know it was him until later. Because he looked like a biker. I thought he was just like somebody there, a fan. He was outside smoking a cigarette with long hair, big long beard, leather. I thought he was like a biker guy. And he complimented my Charles Bronson shirt. It was like, he said something about loving Charles Bronson and Death Wish and this and that. And I was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then later I was like, was that Andrew Bryanarski? And then I walked by his table later and I was like, damn, that was Andrew Bryanarski. But I did not recognize him. Yes. Savini definitely is cold when it comes to meeting people. And I don't know if that's something I don't know if that's just, I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just, who he is, or I don't know. But yeah, cold. Cold is a good, yeah. You're not going to get a whole lot out of him when it comes to a conversation. Yeah. Now, I never heard about this dog abuse stuff. Never heard about that. I don't think I want to, honestly. Don't tell me. I actually did meet Richard Brooker. I met him it was either the very last show he did or one of the very last shows he did. And I've met Tom Morga. Tom was nice. Richard was, I really don't remember that encounter, to be honest. It was pretty quick, as I recall. But I did get to meet him. What's up, Pumpkin J? How's everything in NorCal? I heard Tom Savini is nice to women. It's a possibility. No, actually, no. I've heard women say that they've had a. I mean, I guess it depends on the woman, but I've heard women who've said that they've had bad experiences with him as well. So, I guess it depends on the woman. Yeah, I mean that's very true, Captain Crunch. You never know what other people are going through. So, but I think I always say this, like, if they're on a movie set, it doesn't matter if they're hungover, if they found out that their spouse is cheating on them, that their manager's stolen all their money, between action and cut, they'd be professional, right? They do their job. When I walk up to your table with money in hand, that is action. So I get it. They're people just like anybody else. They've got the same problems we all have. But if you're at a convention, treat that as if you were on the set of a movie. You know what I mean? Be professional. Favorite Tom Savini acting role? Wow. Probably Planet Terror. I thought he was cool in Planet Terror. I like Savini's Night of the Living Dead too. I do. I don't. I mean the rumors. There's rumors about that movie, but the nicest celeb you ever met was Billy Idol. Wow, cool. Billy Idol. Nice. That's cool. Was he at a horror convention? Yeah, he was good in From Dusk Till Dawn. What was his character's? His character had a funky name in From Dusk Till Dawn, right? What was it? I forget. But yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn. He's good in that. Meeting Savini, he was distant until I said, "Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming out and the artistic inspiration." He basically hugged the hell out of me. He's an introvert. Crowds are difficult. Steve, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Can I elaborate on what Planet Terror moments you alluded to earlier? Did I allude to any Planet Terror moment? I just said Planet Terror was my favorite acting gig of his. I thought he was good in that. Yeah, I've met Kimberly Beck. She was very nice. Very, very nice. Yes. Paulo Balboa, does it say anything about the state of horror when Crystal Lake is halted, yet a new I Know What You Did Last Summer is coming? That says something. What's up, Henry? First time catching your live stream. Any chance you're going to the Silver Scream Con in September? Nah, that one's a little out of my zone. Sex Machine, that was his name. Yes, that was his name from Dusk Till Dawn. Sex Machine. He was good in From Dusk Till Dawn too. So, not a bad actor. It was at a concert. Okay. And if you went behind the venue afterwards, sometimes the band would come out to say hi. He did. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I have never met Bruce Campbell. Never met him. The best edition of Silver Bullet. I don't have the Scream Factory one. I've got the Umbrella Blu-ray, but I don't have the Scream Factory 4K. So I can't compare the two. Thank y'all for 77 likes on the stream. I appreciate it. If you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. I have seen Ripper. Yes. I don't know if I finished it though. I don't know if I made it all the way through, but I have seen. I really don't know if I finished it, but I know I've seen it. Yeah, that's that was difficult to get through. We've been going for about an hour and a half. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Any questions? Anything? Just throw them out there before we wrap things up. David Lynch. How did you get to meet David Lynch, Pillow Fort? That'd be somebody definitely I'd like to meet. Donut Strange. I like that name. Are you going to play Killer Clown's game when it comes out? I don't know. Maybe. If it looks good. If it is good, yeah. I could play it for sure. The Ripper is allegedly one of the new secret titles for VS halfway to Black Friday. Ooh, okay. Have they given us any hints as to what those other titles are going to be? Let's see. Usually they like to drop these little hints. I know they said they've got some surprise titles coming, but let's see. Have they dropped any hints? Navy SEALs, China O'Brien 1 and 2, Homegrown Horrors Volume 3, Dangerous Game. Surprise releases, 2 VS, 2 VS, 2 VSAs, and 1 DeGausser video. So the Ripper is rumored to be the DeGausser video. Okay. Well, I probably will not be picking that up. Probably will pass on that. I did pre-order, or I ordered, but I guess they were under pre-order, the Visual Vengeance, or not Visual Vengeance, the TerraVision, Nailgun Massacre, and oh gosh, what was the other one that they just dropped? Oh, Papatopoulos, the Jim Wynorski documentary. Yeah. So I got both of those, but they've not. I mean, were the pre-orders? Okay. I guess I didn't realize they were pre-orders because I was like, or I just want to watch those again so bad that I was like, ship them. Where are they? When are they coming out? Do we have a release date on these things? I don't see a release date. Damn it. But Nailgun Massacre and Papatopoulos. Those were just absolute gimmies. What's the next movie I'm seeing in theaters? Probably The Strangers. Jeremy wants to see that one. And then he wants to see The Watchers, whenever that. I think that comes out pretty soon too, doesn't it? Definitely In a Violent Nature at the end of this month. Hopped for that one. Wonder if I'll take Jeremy with me for that one. It looks like it's got lots of kills, so that'll be right up Jeremy's alley. You know? He's a bloodthirsty fella. So, the more kills, the better. I have no idea when the Halloween series is supposed to be coming out. No clue. That's another one. I'll be surprised if that actually makes it to screen. Because, I think you can maybe pull a little more. There's a little more with the Halloween series to pull from. But, I mean, are you going to go into, is it going to be the brother-sister stuff? Are you going to go into the Thorn trilogy? Are you going to go into Jamie Lloyd? Or, how are you going to expand on that? Shout out to Caden. Hello, Caden. I did hear that, Richard. I did hear that. But you know what? The Rock can do whatever he wants to do, right? He's The Rock. It doesn't matter what you think. No, but he should be professional. He should be professional. Maybe he's just being a heel. You know? Maybe he's just working the gimmick. People hate Joel Schumacher? When did this happen? When did people start hating Joel Schumacher? I love Joel Schumacher. I would have loved to have met him. You met him at the airport. You told him you were a big fan of Eraserhead. He said, I was a cool guy. Nice. If David Lynch says you're a cool guy, you know? Yes. I saw Papadopoulos years and years ago, so I'm looking forward to revisiting it. I love Jim Wynorski. There was another documentary that he was featured in a lot. What was that called? Some Nudity Required. Let's bring that documentary back out. Would you check out a Corey Cunningham spinoff show? I would. Oh, Furiosa. Yeah, I'll probably go check out Furiosa. Isn't that out this weekend? Or that comes out pretty soon, right? I'll probably check that out. I agree, Kevin. We need Psycho Cop on Blu-ray. I know it was in the works. I know that it was happening at one point. And then it wasn't happening. So sucks. Maybe someday we'll get Psycho Cop on Blu-ray. We need it. The world needs Psycho Cop. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm just not into it. I'm not into the Apes series. All those movies have looked really good. I have no interest. No interest at all. I did see the first one with James Franco. I think I saw some of the one that followed that one, but I don't know. They just don't interest me at all. Furiosa's Memorial Day. Okay. Remember when that was a huge deal? Mm-hmm. I've never seen any of the Evil Bong movies. That series has eluded me up to this point. I've not heard anything about Mutilator 2 in a little while. I know Buddy was, looking for a distributor. They did screen it last month at a convention in Pennsylvania. I would have liked to have gone out to that screening, but it was a little out of the way. But the last I heard, they were, Buddy was shopping it around, trying to get it distributed. So hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. People seem to hate Schumacher because of the Batmans he made. I mean, I like Batman Forever. Batman and Robin has some like so bad it's good elements in it. Like it's so campy and whatever. But I mean, Joel Schumacher made some really good movies. I mean, The Lost Boys is one of my all-time favorite movies. If The Lost Boys was the only movie he'd made, he'd be, a legend in my eyes. He made a lot of other good movies. 8mm is great. Tigerland is probably his most underrated movie. Tigerland is great. And like nobody ever talks about that movie. Honestly, all y'all go check out Tigerland. So good. It's a shame that one doesn't get more recognition. We're going to watch The Crow 30th anniversary. I don't think it's I think it's playing at one theater that's kind of nearby us. Jeremy definitely be up for it. I don't know. I love that movie to death. But it's like, I don't know. It's just so sad. I have to be in a very specific kind of mood to want to watch it. Arnold's dialogue as Mr. Freeze is awesome. Chill out. Going to put you on ice. I mean, it's just that I should revisit that movie because there's a lot of that movie that I remember liking because it's just so campy and silly and allow me to break the ice. Did I hear that the person behind Amityville Toilet is making Amityville Backpack? But we can't get a Friday the 13th movie. But we can get Amityville Backpack. Wow. That is sad. That is really sad. Good Lord. Oh, that's some depression right there. Oh yeah, the new 4K of Crimson Peak from Arrow. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to do a full review of the movie and of this release very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Oh, by the way, I'm giving away a copy of the upcoming Blue Underground 4K for Bob Clark's Death Dream over on my Instagram. That link is in the description. If you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. Enter to win today. The winner will be announced this coming Friday, the 17th. If you've not seen Death Dream, great movie from Bob Clark. Highly recommend it. I'm sure this 4K is going to look tremendous. So, yeah. Head over to my Instagram and enter today. Time Cop, I love Time Cop. Yep, we need Time Cop in 4K. No doubt about it. You think wrong, Barney. You think wrong. Well, folks, I'm going to call it a night there. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me tonight and shooting the bull. We talked about the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K, our hopes that we might get a box set in the U.S. We talked about the Crystal Lake series and how it will hopefully turn into a movie from A24. We'll see. Paid tribute to the late, great Roger Corman. Talked about Frankencon. And again, my full Frankencon video will be out in a couple of days. Lots of footage, lots of photos, lots of cool stuff there. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I've got a review dropping tomorrow for one of the best movies I've seen this year. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I've got... How many masks? I've got 2 mask unboxings and a bust unboxing coming out very soon, too. And got a whole bunch of exotic sounding potato chips coming to me, courtesy of Go Seek Find there in the chat. So looking forward to trying those out with Jeremy. So let me do some shout outs here before we call it a night. Shout out to Astro Juicy, Eric's 1973, and RJ Skarinki for tuning in over on Twitch. Thank you, folks, for hanging out with me over on Twitch. Shout out to Andy Shoemake for 12 months of being a channel member. Shout out to Horror Orman for the $2 super chat, and shout out to Bloodthorn Creations for the $1.99 super chat. And thank you all for the 90 likes on the stream. If you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so before you take off. There's Andy in the chat. He's still with me. We got Go Seek Find, who's still with us. Dead Meat Fan. There's Horror Orman. There's Matthew. Derek Jana. Richard C. There's Astro Juicy. My buddy Swaggy. Movie Fan. Entertainment Wizard. Barney Likes Beer. Pillow Fort. Derek Jana. Mike. Gargano. Let's see, who else was with us tonight? Eli. My name is not Earl. Brian Mean. Who else did we have? Joe Reese. Donut Strange. Ben Grimm. Kevin Dudley. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. Great rest of your Mother's Day. And I will see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Be well. And until next time, peace.